There's something about a made-for-TV movie that dares to mess with the occult. Flickering candles, whispered curses, portals cracked open that maybe shouldn't have been. Today, we're uncovering 8 TV movies that brought demons, spirits, and ancient evils straight through the television screen, and left you wondering if you just witnessed something you weren't supposed to see. She Waits aired on CBS in 1972, starring Patty Duke as a newlywed caught in the grip of a jealous spirit who refuses to move on. The story follows Laura, who moves into her husband's family home, only to find that his late wife still casts a long shadow. At first, it's just uneasy silence and tension with her mother-in-law. But then come the whispers, the strange moods, and the growing sense that Laura isn't entirely herself anymore. As she starts to unravel, it becomes clear that the past isn't just lingering in the air, it's fighting to take over. Patty Duke carries the movie with a performance that flips from vulnerable to almost trance-like, and while the pacing is slow, it erupts in a final emotional confrontation. It's one of those TV movies where not a lot happens, until suddenly, everything does. James Ferrantino plays Kevin Leahy, a defrocked priest who dies in a car crash, only to be resurrected. In 1977's The Possessed, airing on NBC, he's sent back to Earth with a new purpose: to root out evil as a kind of reluctant exorcist. His next stop, a Catholic girls' school in Oregon, where things have started to burn, literally. Unexplained fires break out across campus. Students and faculty are rattled, and the school's headmistress, played by Joan Hackett, begins to unravel. Claudette Nevins co-stars as a teacher whose daughter also attends the school, and Harrison Ford appears in an early role as another staff member, just 3 weeks before Star Wars would make him a household name. What starts as a mystery becomes something much darker, with possessions, confessions, and a final blaze that settles the score. The story is uneven at times, but the intensity and atmosphere make it feel like a knockoff of The Exorcist, but not in a bad way. Airing on ABC in January 1975, Satan's Triangle opens with a Coast Guard rescue mission deep in the Bermuda Triangle. A schooner is found drifting at sea with just 3 bodies on board. The only survivor is a woman named Eva, played by Kim Novak, who seems dazed but unharmed. Doug McClure plays the officer who stays behind with her, and as they wait for extraction, she tells him what happened.
We're going to die on this boat, you know. Just like the others.
A story filled with strange rituals, levitation, and the sense that something evil was hiding in plain sight. The longer they talk, the more the lines start to blur between survivor and suspect, reality and something much darker. It's a slow, eerie descent into something supernatural, and by the end, you're not sure who or what to believe. Joan Collins, Dirk Benedict, and Ray Milland are just a few of the familiar faces aboard Cruise into Terror, a made-for-TV mashup of satanic horror and disaster movie tropes. Airing on ABC in February 1978, it follows a pleasure cruise through the Gulf of Mexico that takes a dark turn when passengers discover an ancient Egyptian sarcophagus in the ship's cargo hold, supposedly containing the son of Satan himself. From there, things spiral fast. Nightmares, mysterious deaths, and religious panic start to take hold. It plays like The Love Boat by way of The Omen, with serious faces delivering wild dialogue about prophecies and evil awakening at sea. It doesn't always make sense, but it's the kind of strange, star-stuffed oddity that could only have happened in the 70s, and only on TV. Airing on ABC in December 1973, The Cat Creature is a pulpy blend of ancient curses, antique dealers, and one very aggressive black cat. The story kicks off when a valuable amulet is stolen from the estate of a dead occult collector, and people start turning up clawed to death shortly after. Meredith Baxter plays a student drawn into the mystery, while David Hedison tries to piece things together before more bodies drop. There's talk of cat-worshipping cults, reincarnation, and a spirit that may have returned in feline form. It's more style over suspense, with foggy graveyards, glowing eyes, and a tone that feels closer to a 1940s B-horror throwback. It won't terrify you, but if you've got a soft spot for slow-moving supernatural TV mysteries, this one definitely qualifies. Betty Davis plays the steely matriarch of a New England farming village in 1978's The Dark Secret of Harvest Home. Airing over 2 nights on NBC, the miniseries follows a city family that moves to the rural town of Cornwall Coombe, a place proud of its traditions and strangely protective of its harvest rituals. At first, life in Cornwall Coombe seems peaceful, maybe a little too peaceful. But beneath the surface is a tight-lipped community with rules that don't always make sense. David Aykroyd plays the husband who starts asking the wrong questions. And through it all, Betty Davis holds the center with a performance that's both nurturing and intimidating.
We'll turn our backs on him and shun him. He is forbidden to all. He is Bane.
The further things go, the clearer it becomes. Tradition isn't just respected here, it's enforced. Airing on CBS in February 1973, The Horror at 37,000 feet puts supernatural terror on a transatlantic flight. A commercial jet is hauling part of a ruined English abbey back to the US, including an altar tied to an ancient druidic cult. Once airborne, strange things begin to happen. The temperature drops, objects move on their own, and passengers start losing control. William Shatner plays a former priest with a drinking problem, reluctantly drawn into the chaos as whatever's in the cargo hold begins to stir. The rest of the cast is a who's who of 70s television, all trapped at cruising altitude with an evil no one can explain. It's a bizarre mix of disaster movie and cult horror, complete with chanting spirits and in-flight possession, like The Exorcist meets Airport 1975, all crammed into one haunted red-eye. Clint Walker leads a 6-man construction crew in 1974's Killdozer, a TV movie where the villain isn't a ghost or demon, it's a possessed bulldozer. Airing on ABC, it starts when the crew uncovers a buried meteorite on a remote island, unleashing an alien force that takes over their equipment. From there, it's a battle for survival as the dozer stalks the men one by one, flattening tents, crushing vehicles, and cutting off any way out. Robert Urich and Neville Brand round out the cast, with the story leaning into isolation, paranoia, and the sheer helplessness of fighting something that doesn't eat, sleep, or stop. It's simple, strange, and driven by a concept that's hard to forget. Even if you only saw it once,